That's it, 31. Page number 157. Duty drawback. What is duty drawback? Duty drawback is nothing but a refund. Refund is known as duty drawback. And when you will get that refund? When imported goods are exported. When imported goods are exported, either as such or after process. Either as such or after process. If it is as such, with use or without use. Okay. So when imported goods are exported, then you will get duty drawback. And there are three situations you will get the duty drawback. If imported goods are exported as such means whatever you have imported, that only you are exporting without being put to use. Example, a person will be importing a robot for display it in an exhibition, and once the exhibition is over, that robot will be taken outside India. So that is known as imported goods exported as such without use. Then another case is imported goods exported as such after use. Say for conducting a F1 race in India, some cars are being imported, and after completing the F1 race in India, that car is exported back. That is known as imported goods exported after use. Okay. So then 74 subsection 2. Second situation. Now third situation, imported goods used in manufacture or process and exporting the processed goods. For example, we are importing some integrated circuits and motherboards, and on that we are adding some panels and we are exporting to another country. So that will be known as imported goods processed and then exported. Okay. So in these three cases we will get duty drawback. Now here we need to understand one point, that so whenever you paid customs duty, in that IGST component is there. Suppose if you claim that input tax credit with respect to IGST component, you will not get duty drawback. So you should not have taken the ITC component there. Okay. If you take the input tax credit with respect to that, you are not eligible for the duty drawback. Okay. So in case of 74, duty drawback covers IGST and GST compensations also. In case of 74, and therefore ITC cannot be availed with respect to the same. However, in case of 75, what is 75? What is 74? 74 is imported goods exported as such without use or with use as such. Whereas 75 is imported goods used in process which are then exported. So in case of 74, when you claim duty drawback, in the duty drawback you will get refund of even IGST paid on import. But in case of 75, when you claim duty drawback, the duty drawback covers only the customs duty but not IGST. Means can I take that IGST as ITC? Yes, you can. So that ITC can be taken with respect to IGST paid. See, that's what I have told you. So however, in case of section 75, duty drawback covers only customs duty but not IGST. So ITC can be availed with respect to the same. So input tax credit can be taken, but in case of 74, you cannot take input tax credit with respect to IGST paid, because we are claiming the duty drawback that covers even IGST paid on import. Okay. So this is a very important point which you should remember. Now, what we are trying to understand is the provisions of section 74 first. So 74 is what imported goods exported as such. So then you will be getting duty drawback. So first we will complete 74 and thereafter we will discuss 75 and we will make a comparison between 74 and 75. So 74. So when you will be getting, already we know. What is the time limit? The goods must be exported within 2 years from the date of payment of import duty. Not 2 years from the date of import, 2 years from the date of payment of import duty. So what does it mean? Sir, when we import, we may not pay the duty immediately. We will file the bill of entry and we will pay the duty at a later point of time. So the 2 years should be counted from the date when we pay the import duty. Suppose if the goods are kept in warehouse, for the period for which the goods are kept in warehouse don't count, because the period for which you have kept the goods in warehouse is without payment of duty. So even though you imported but you did not pay duty, you kept it in the warehouse and you are taking the goods from the warehouse. The day when you take the goods from the warehouse, at that time you pay duty. So from that date you need to take the 2 year period. Don't forget this. So from the date of payment of customs duty on imported goods, it should be exported within 2 years. And what is taken as the export? The let export order. The let export order will be taken as the date of export, and it can be extended for a further period by CBIC. So you know why I am stressing on this? Because Depending upon the period of usage, we will get duty drawback. While counting the period of usage, you should not take import date and the export date. You should take the date on which customs duty is paid on import till the export date. Okay. For that reason. Then rates of duty drawback. 74 subsection 1. What is 74 subsection 1? Imported goods are exported as such without being put to use. Then in that case, 98% of the total customs duty, when I say total customs duty, basic customs duty, social welfare surcharge, CGS, IGST and anti-dumping duty, safeguard duty and anti-subsidy duty, everything you will get. So 98% of the total customs duty paid you will be getting as a refund, where 74. Okay, 74 subsection 1. Then 74 subsection 2, duty drawback at the reduced rates. So depending upon the period of usage. So period how should be computed? Period how should be computed? From the date on which you pay customs duty till the date you are exporting. So that should be taken as the period. So that period, depending upon the period, you will be getting duty drawback. So this duty drawback at reduced rates, you need to remember. Okay. So that chart you can see in the last. So what will be taken as the duty drawback? So page number 159, duty drawback as per 74 subsection 2, duty drawback at the reduced rates. So first we need to see what type of goods it is. Motor vehicles imported by any person, or goods imported by an individual for personal purpose. Okay, motor vehicles imported by any person, goods imported by individual for personal purpose, one set of duty drawback rates. And if it is any other goods, another set of duty drawback rates. Okay, so first set is applicable to whom? Motor vehicle is imported and exported after use, or that by any person, and thereafter any goods imported by individual for personal purpose and then exported. So in this case what we will do? So take the duty drawback equals to, so whatever is the customs duty paid minus, like a depreciation we will deduct. So customs duty paid, total customs duty paid minus 4% for every quarter or part thereof in the first year, and 3% for every quarter or part thereof in the second year, and 2.5% for every quarter or part thereof in the third year, and 2% for every quarter or part thereof in the fourth year. So 4, 3, 2.52, 4, 3, 2.52, 4, 3, 2.52, 4, 3, 2.52, whatever is the customs duty paid minus 4, 3, 2.52, and that percentage for every quarter or part thereof. For example, if I am using it for 1.5 year, that is 4 plus 2, 6 quarters. So 6 quarters. For first year fully 4 into 4, 16%. For the second year it will be 3 into 2, 6%. So 16 plus 6, that is 22%. I will be reducing. So whatever customs duty paid is 1 lakh. 1 lakh minus 22%. The remaining amount I will be enjoying as input tax credit. Understood? I will be enjoying as a refund, duty drawback. So that is this. Understood or not? So therefore, first year 4% for every quarter or part thereof in the first year, 3% for every quarter or part thereof in the second year, 2.5% for every quarter or part thereof in the third year, and 2% for every quarter or part thereof in the fourth year. This is how I will get duty drawback. After 4 years, I will not. But sir, you said the time limit is only 2 years. It can be extended for a further period by CBIC, na? That extended a period, but it cannot go beyond 4 years. If it was beyond 4 years, gone. 1 rupee also you will not get benefit. Whereas in other cases, what is other cases? Any other goods imported by a person other than individual, or individual for other than personal purpose. In that case, so depending upon the period of usage, the duty drawback is available. So easily you can remember, you increase it by every 3 months, 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and 9 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 18, more than 18 nothing. More than 18 months, you will not get any duty drawback. So 3 to first 0 to 3, 95%. You reduce it by 5, 10%, 10%, 10% up to 75%. Thereafter you reduce by 5%. So 0 to 3, 95, then 85, then 75, thereafter 5, 70, 65, 60, thereafter nothing. Okay. So this is the rates which you need to remember, and accordingly some questions may be asked on computation related to duty drawback. Okay. So these rates you need to remember, no other go. So 74 subsection 1 flat, 98% of the total customs duty paid. 74 subsection 2, so usage. So depending upon the usage, we have the duty drawback at reduced rates. So these percentages should be computed on the total customs duty, yes. But remember, the first set of duty drawback is not that much percentage on total customs duty you will get as duty drawback. that much percentage you should reduce and remaining amount you will get as a duty drawback. Whereas in the second set, that much percentage on the total customs duty paid you will get as a duty drawback. That is the slight difference between this first set of rates and the second set of rates. Then, so we understood what will be taken as the duty drawback at the reduced rates. Mandatory prohibition. What is this mandatory prohibition? Suppose if the duty drawback amount is less than 50 rupees, you will not get any amount of duty drawback. Then, market price of the exported goods is less than the duty drawback. When it will happen? So, it so happens if the value, market value of those goods depreciates or deteriorates drastically, the market value come down. Mainly in case of electronics, it will happen. So, value of the imported goods, for example, you see, so what is that I told you? So, you will not get duty drawback if the amount of duty drawback is less than the market value of that goods. If the amount of duty drawback is less than the market value of that goods, you will not get duty drawback. For example, value of the imported goods is 1 lakh rupees. Customs duty paid on import is 30%. So 1 lakh into 30% is how much? 30,000 rupees. So 30,000 rupees will be the customs duty paid. Now what happened? Exported as such without use, but after some days, after 18 months you exported. So when you are exporting after 18 months, sir, you said 18 months. No, I said 2 years. I did not say 18 months. That is in case of export after usage, 18 months. So without usage, I did not say 18 months. 2 years plus extended time. Okay. So 18 months. Market value of such goods came down to 20,000. Of course, so electronic goods, when you have purchased it and over a passage of time, the market value will absolutely definitely come down to 20,000 rupees. So it came down. Whether duty drawback is available in this case? Yes, duty drawback is available provided the market value, duty drawback amount is greater than the market value of the goods. You will not get. Duty drawback should be less than the market value of the goods. What is the duty drawback? What is the duty drawback percentage? 98% of the customs duty paid. Imported goods exported as such are. So 98%. So 30,000 into 98%. 29,400. But what is its market value? 20,000 only. You will not get duty drawback. So at least 20. No, 1 rupee also you will not get. So market value upon export is 20,000. No duty drawback as a market value of export goods is less than duty drawback. Got it? So this example will give you the clarity related to this. So only two prohibitions, okay, and then discretionary prohibition. So whenever the goods are likely to be smuggled back into India, so then if the officer, customs officer is of such opinion, he may not give duty drawback. For example, we are importing goods from Singapore and on that customs duty paid, and these goods are exported to Pakistan. And when these goods are exported to Pakistan, whatever customs duty we paid on import of those goods from Singapore, we will get 98% of the customs duty paid as refund. From Pakistan through Kutch in Gujarat, it will enter into India through the land route, and the goods are literally in India, but actually we got the duty drawback. If the government is of such opinion that the goods are likely to be smuggled back into India, they may not give the duty drawback. Okay, that is this. Then identity satisfaction. Of course, you need to prove. So whatever exported goods and imported goods are same, like that identity satisfaction is required. Where in case of 74, whatever imported goods are only exported. So identity satisfaction is required. And duty drawback rates we have discussed. And now we have interest. So this we will see after completing 75 also. So 74 we have completed. Now looking into 75. Duty drawback under 75 is what? Imported goods are exported after process. Then in that case, so what is the duty drawback time limit? No time limit. You export it whenever you want to export it. I don't know why they gave this way. So because irrespective of your customs duty paid on import, depending upon your FOB value of export, they are going to give you the duty drawback percentage of FOB value of export. So it is not 98% of customs duty paid, 95% of customs duty paid, 85% of customs duty paid, not like that. So FOB value of export, whatever is there, a percentage of that, or depending upon the quantity of exports, so quantity into a rate, a piece rate will be given as duty drawback. So therefore, this duty drawback is irrespective of the customs duty paid on import. Due to that reason, they did not fix any time limit. And then, what are the rates of duty drawback? We have three types of rates. AIR, all industry rate. All industry rate will be a notified rate. So this you cannot by heart because it runs into 300 pages. So you cannot remember those rates. So what are those rates given in the question? So that is the all industry rate. So take that rate. Okay. And this rate, whatever we computed duty drawback, so central government may revise this amount, whatever we have claimed, because it appears to the satisfaction of the officer that so this money, whatever duty drawback you are claiming, you don't have that much of customs duty burden or customs duty incidents. In that case, they may reduce it. Please look into the footnote. As per Rule 4, central government may revise amount or rates determined under Rule 3, that is all industry rate. Thereafter, we have brand rate. Suppose you are exporting a product and that product is nowhere in the list. So then there is no all industry rate. So you can make an application. So they will specify how much duty drawback you will get. That is known as brand rate. Then special brand rate. You are computing the duty drawback as per all industry rate. And that amount whatever you have got is less than 80% of the customs duty that you have paid excluding IGST. So then you can make an application for special brand rate. Sir, customs duty I have paid is 1 lakh, but whatever duty drawback that I am getting as per all industry rate is only 72,000. So please grant me higher duty drawback. Like that you can make a request, that is known as special brand rate. But very important point you remember, if at all you already claimed duty drawback as per all industry rate, you cannot make application for special brand rate, because you have to make directly application for special brand rate without claiming all industry rate. If you claim all industry rate, you will lose the right to go for special brand rate, which means we need to make the computation well in hand and then we need to make the application for special brand rate. Okay, that is this. So that I have given as a footnote. And then till the time they fix the special brand rate or brand rate, you can even request for the provisional duty drawback amount. Then mandatory prohibition. Mandatory prohibition, what we have is the first 2 points same as what is there in 74. So first case, that is duty drawback less than 50, you will not get, and if the market value of the goods is less than the amount of duty drawback, then also you will not get the duty drawback. For example, value of the exported goods in the Indian market is 30,000. So but you inflated that value like anything. So you inflated it to 4 lakhs and the duty drawback is 10% of 4 lakhs. So 10% of 4 lakhs 40,000, but its market value is only 30,000. So you will not get duty drawback. Now what you will do? You will try to make it in such a way that so the duty drawback will be slightly lesser than the market value. Okay, slightly lesser than the market value. So therefore you will get the duty drawback. So this condition will be satisfied. So what is the market value? 30,000. Now you will claim a duty drawback of 28,000. So therefore, as the duty drawback amount is less than the market value and market value is more than the duty drawback amount, so this condition is satisfied. Market price of the goods is greater than duty drawback, so this condition is satisfied. But you are trying still to manipulate. That's why what they are doing, that is 28,000 rupees you are claiming duty drawback. Market value of the goods is 30,000. So this condition is satisfied. So now what they are telling, another condition they are putting, that the maximum duty drawback will be 1/3 of the market price. So if you try to take the duty drawback amount slightly less than the market price also, they will not give. So they will give 1/3 of the market price only. For example, you see this, export price is 1 lakh and Indian market price is 50. All industry rate is 30% of FOB, 30,000, but market value is more than the duty drawback. Yes, but what is the duty drawback that they will give? 1/3, that is 50,000 divided by 3, that is 16,667 rupees only they will give as duty drawback. Okay, 16,667 only will be given as duty drawback. Then rule 8, no duty drawback allowed if value of export goods is less than the value of imported materials used therein. Okay, this is another prohibition. What is that? So value addition is must. So the export value should be greater than the import value. The FOB value of export should be greater than the CF value of import. So that is the meaning. Suppose if it is less, if there is a negative value addition, so then they will not be giving duty drawback. And suppose if they prescribe a notified percentage, So if you cross that notified percentage, then only you will get duty drawback. For example, they are telling that the notified percentage of value addition is 10%. Means the FOB value of export should be 10% more than the CIF value of import. Okay, so then only you will get the duty drawback. So in this case, no duty drawback allowed if value of the exported goods not more than the notified percentage of value of imported materials used. So these are the prohibitions in case of 75. So in case of 74, 2 prohibitions are there, and in case of 75, there are 5 prohibitions apart from these 2. So 3 more prohibitions are there. Okay. And the discretionary prohibition is common for 74 as well as 75. So if the goods are likely to be smuggled back into India, you will not get the duty drawback. Identity satisfaction. So why we need to prove the identity? Not required, because imported goods and exported goods will be definitely different in case of 75, because we are processing now. So then how it will be the same? So due to that reason, identity satisfaction is not required. Okay. So, but what is that he need to prove? He need to prove that imported goods are used in manufacture of finished goods. That should be proved. But no need to prove that the imported goods and exported goods are same. And then we have interest. 2 interest computations we have. Number 1, suppose if we got duty drawback erroneously. So, fake claim. So fake claim we have made and we got the duty drawback, and they identified that we have got the duty drawback erroneously. That duty drawback will be recovered from us. And what is the interest rate? 15% per annum. So in customs, everywhere it is 15%. Like how in GST, everywhere it is 18%. In customs, everywhere the interest rate will be 15%. Okay. So they will be recovering from us interest at the rate of 15% per annum from the date on which they granted duty drawback till the time they are recovering the duty drawback. So see that if duty drawback erroneously claimed, duty drawback interest if duty drawback erroneously claimed, what is it they are telling? Shall be 15% per annum from the date of payment of duty drawback till the date of recovery of duty drawback, that is payable by exporter to government. Whereas we claimed duty drawback, they are not giving on time. So what is that time? 1 month. 1 month. If duty drawback not paid to the claimant within 1 month from the claim date, then they have to give the interest on that refund. So duty drawback is also like a refund only now. So what is the interest rate? 6% per annum. This is common in customs as well as in GST. So 6% per annum from the date after expiry of 1 month. So 1 month is the statutory time. After that only till the date of payment of duty drawback, so interest will be payable 6% per annum. So the first one is when they are giving the duty drawback to us. The second one is when they are recovering duty drawback from us. Okay.